You will increase your efficiency 20% if you learn to do the tough things first, the ones you don't want to do.
Ray Zinn now imparts his management philosophy in Tough Things First. In this series, Zinn covers it all, from the essence of human happiness.
If you're going to make it a consistent practice of working Saturdays just because you think you've got to work 80 hours a week to be successful, you're just flat out wrong.
To the downside of venture capital.
People said, well, don't sweat the small things. Well, I guarantee if you don't sweat the small things, the big things are going to become a mess.
And the essence of entrepreneurial discipline.
Don't want to wait until you jump off the cliff to grab a parachute.
Now here's Ray Zinn, Silicon Valley's longest-serving CEO. Welcome to the Tough Things First podcast, the podcast for leaders who want to do the hard work that creates real lasting success. I'm your host, Rob Artigo, former radio personality at KGO Radio in San Francisco and writer. Joined as always by Ray Zinn, founder and former CEO of Micrel Semiconductor, a company he built from the ground up and led for 37 years before its eventual acquisition. Hello again, Ray.
Hi, Rob.
Ray, this is a special edition of the Tough Things First podcast. We're on video. If you'd like to watch it instead of just listen to it, you can go to toughthingsfirst.com and find this podcast by looking for the podcasts. Right next to the lead-in for this podcast is a little link that says Watch Now. It'll take you to Ray's YouTube channel. You can watch that video and a whole lot more right there. So please, check it out. Today's question comes from business leaders, managers, and creative team leaders who are thinking ahead as something like, as I build and scale my team, what kind of work ethic and culture should I intentionally create? So, Ray, you've done this successfully over decades. Where should a leader start in building that creative team and that ethic?
Well, we kind of talked about that in an earlier podcast, but develop a harmony of civility and caring for others, whether it be your competitor, whether it be your customers, your employees. Just having that culture of civility. It's in my at my company, Micrel. It's the number 3 culture, which is respect and dignity of every individual. And so that having a culture of respect and dignity, not allowing condescending language, we allowed no vulgarity. We talked rationally with each other, respecting each other's differences, understanding each other, and you can't do that by sitting at the computer. You have to, get around. You gotta walk around. You gotta interact with your customers, your competitors, your employees, and just having that culture of civility is what's so important, and such an important conversation in our news media today is the need for better civility. Again, with all the technology we have, AI and everything that is now enhancing our relationship with other people, civility's got to come in there as kind of like number 1 almost.
Yeah, and then don't rely on AI to create civility for you. You're going to have to do that using your own values and your own personal character. For creative team leaders, Ray, especially the writers and designers, developers out there, how do you balance freedom with discipline? I guess that's a question of values. So you're balancing the freedom to be creative, freedom to do what you want as a person, be self-fulfilling or whatever. But how do you balance that with the discipline to stay within the framework of the values that you've built in as a team?
Yeah, don't be offensive, or defensive. I didn't say offense like it's offensive. Don't start out negative. Start out positive, and be a character builder, not a character deteriorator or deterrer. Whether you're writing, whether you're singing, whether you're running a company with lots of employees, you want to have a culture or an atmosphere where people feel free to be expressive and to be open about their feelings and concerns. You don't want them to be hiding or afraid to say anything for fear of retribution. In fact, retribution should not even be as part of the nature of your organization. It should be, you want to get together, you want to bring people together, because that's the way a team works. A team works when they come together, not when they're fighting each other. That's not building a team. We need actually more of that team type spirit where we want to be together as opposed to not want to be together.
At Mike Corral, you were talking about the values that you build into the team, the cultures that you intentionally baked into the framework of the organization that helped you succeed. This was a framework that you had come up with, and other people could add or take away from that, but you want to, because they can be choose their own culture for their company. But it serves repeating to talk again about those cultures that you added in there that really builds in the values that help people first be free to create, but also operate within the framework of a team built on the same values.
Well, I've heard this term used, healthy confrontation, and it sounds good, but anytime there's confrontation, it tends to deteriorate. And I don't know how you can have healthy poison. I mean, it's right. Kind of an oxymoron. Yeah, right. So they try to couch it by saying it's healthy confrontation. Well, I don't know. Healthy bad stuff it's kind of an oxymoron. So be careful, because anytime you be confrontational, it tends to deteriorate. And so there could be healthy competition, but not healthy confrontation, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You want to have clarity on the work ethic, and the culture in the company too is really about making sure that it's clear. And then, like you said, it's not about the healthy competition. It's okay to fight for your position or fight for your product or fight for what you want, in the sense that you're trying to make a good argument, show the value of it, but don't go overboard and think that fighting means you have to be really aggressive and yell at other people. It's like you can make your point without being disruptive and not a team player.
I call it raising your voice. I mean, it's there's no need of it. If you have a good relationship or a healthy relationship with someone, you want to keep your tones more calm and more moderate, as opposed to being angry and confrontational.
Okay. Thanks, Ray. Join the conversation at toughthingsfirst.com. Your questions and comments are always welcome. Follow Ray on X, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And, of course, pick up Ray's books, The Tough Things First, The Essential Leader, 10 Skills, Attributes, and Fundamentals that make up the Essential Leader. And as you know, the Zen of Zinn series is already out there, 1, 2, and 3. And it now includes Ray's new book, The Zen of Zinn Daily. Please pick it up. Ray, we'll have our listeners back and for another podcast coming up. Until then, do the tough things first, right?
That's right. Do the tough things first.
You've been listening to the Tough Things First podcast, proud to introduce Ray Zinn's new book, Zen of Zinn Daily, available in paperback and digital formats where books are sold.